Good morning. Welcome to the show today. I am back on Thursday to talk with all of you and our guest and tell you some things that are going on at Hy-Vee today and then just in general. So first, a thank you to the sponsors: John Becky Insurance, Muscatine Power and Water, Rivo Plumbing and Heating, R7 Reclaimed, Impact Life Blood Center, Lutheran Living Senior Campus, Toyota of Muscatine, Impact Fitness and Nutrition, Suntan City, Real Estate Resource Associates, Unity Point Health, Trinity Muscatine, and Hy-Vee. So today is Random Acts of Kindness Day, which Hy-Vee has the perfect offer for you with that. Today is buy one, get one on a dozen donuts at Hy-Vee. So you can come in, you can pick up your dozen donuts, and then you can get an additional dozen to go do your Random Acts of Kindness with. That would be one idea. Also, if you are interested in a free dozen donuts, there was a number put out earlier of the number of donuts that Hy-Vee made today. So the first person to comment, I believe on this feed, with that number could win a dozen donuts. So if you need a hint of where you can find it, I think Hy-Vee's Facebook page. Yes, okay. So go check that out. Otherwise, as you're listening to the show too, maybe think of what is your random act of kindness that you are going to do today. It could be a simple extra hello, a holding a door, right? Something simple like that. Or you could go big and be like, today is the day that I'm going to decide to volunteer and give back to our community. Something like that, and continue the random acts of kindness, maybe in a not so random way, for the remainder of the year or week or month or whatever it could be. Which leads us to our guest, Nichole Sorgenfrey with United Way.
Hi, how are you?
Good. All right, so tell us some things that United Way has going on. One of the things you wanted to talk about is the Emergency Disaster Volunteer Summit.
Correct. So this is a summit that you will come to on the 26th at Calvary from 9 to 11. On our Facebook page, you'll find the flyer where you can sign up. And this is where all the nonprofits that work with emergency disaster will be there to give you a little spiel about how you can get involved. So what we're looking for is trying to get volunteers signed up now, so we are really ready when that massive tornado comes or we have a major flood and we need help with that. So that you're already trained, you're already ready to go. And the really cool thing about this is that we need volunteers of all spectrum. You know, we need volunteers that can sit and just answer phones or do data entry.
Sure.
But we also need volunteers who can run a chainsaw and do the heavy work and mucking houses and so forth. So that is the neat thing that you'll find out at this summit.
Okay, so some of the nonprofits that could be there, organizations working would be like
Red Cross, Salvation Army, Rebuilding Together,
okay.
RSVP, you know. All
Perfect. So if you're even interested in volunteering for an organization like that, could you just come to ask the questions, or are you committing on that day if you're there?
You can come and listen and then figure out what best fits for you. That's the goal of it.
So it's really an educational opportunity to, awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. And repeat the date of that again.
It is February 26th.
Okay, so coming up next weekend.
Yes.
At Calvary.
Correct, at Calvary from 9 to 11.
Okay.
And we'll have donuts there as well.
And there will be donuts there as well. Today should be National Donut Day. I'm sure there's one of those, and maybe it should be like every day.
Right.
Okay, other volunteer opportunities, because United Way is really the hub of volunteering. If you have any questions about how you can get involved, calling Nichole can get you the answer very quickly and connect you to any other organization in the community. But right now, you're looking for tutors at the high school.
Correct. So one of our big things right now, we have started an Educate United group. So they work only on education fields, and so they're working with the different school districts that we have in our county and trying to figure out what they need for volunteers. So it's kind of a fun volunteer opportunity. It's during Muskie time, so it's like 10 to 10:30 once a week. You can go virtual or in person and work with a child. So if you're good in English, that's a great opportunity. If you're good at algebra, like Han has all of these engineers, maybe that's something that you can do for that half an hour once a week, and you can work with that student. But this is really going to build with that student, just like what you do with Big Brothers Big Sisters. It's that mentoring, and it's that adult just pushing them and giving them that positive reinforcement to understand that subject and move forward with it. So we are working to get volunteers signed up for that.
Perfect.
And like I said, it can be flexible. It can either be during muskie time, or if that student has another free time during the day, or before and after school. So whatever works best for our volunteers, and then we'll match the students up with that.
How many volunteers do you need?
The school district is really not really giving us a good number, but I know that in the past they've had about 50 students in the tutor program.
Great.
So they do have some student-to-student mentors. So that is working. So we're just trying to help build that. So there is no gaps. I mean, I know that when my son took trig, I didn't really know all the answers. So this would have been great for him to get, and luckily there was Google and he learned everything from Google. But
yeah, I would not be helpful there either.
I think it's a fun opportunity. Our first volunteer opportunity that we started with this group was reading buddies for the preschoolers at the Early Learning Center.
Yes.
So we have 9 volunteers working through that and doing once a month reading a book to the students. And it's really awesome.
Are you still accepting volunteers for that one? I had some people mention that they were wishing that they could read to some students. So
yeah.
You're still accepting volunteers?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're also working, we just built West Liberty wants to partner on that same program. And then hopefully we can add the 3-year-olds, and keep building it. Because it is kind of a fun opportunity.
Yes.
Especially those retired, people who want to do something. Grandmas would be excellent at this, those kind of fun things. So that's one of our big things that we're looking for volunteers. And then we always have our volunteer website, volunteermuscatine.org, which we promote all of our nonprofits in our county that utilize volunteers. So we're really trying to build that and work with that. So.
And you were talking about like the Han engineers for the tutoring part, and I was thinking that that's perfect. And so even if there was like a lead or a department member that wanted to even just rally some of their team, maybe that's their team building meeting, that everyone can go to their individual. And I know our companies are really good in town about offering that time during the week, because if your employees volunteer and are connected to the community, you retain them. They want to stay here and they want to remain in the community and really have that purpose. So it's a great idea. So I would say even a lead probably could call you and say, I have a team, put us to work.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so call Nichole if that defines you. Or if you are that retired grandma or grandpa, maybe your grandkids don't live in town and you want that connection, they would love it. My son just got a reading buddy. He's in kindergarten and he thinks it's super cool. So they come on Fridays. And it's only been one time so far, I think, that I know of, and he's just so excited that he's going to have that person come on Friday, because that attention is everything to them. So, okay, next thing for United Way that we don't want to forget to talk about is the annual celebration.
Correct. So that will be in March, and this will be a virtual event over lunch hour on Thursday the 24th from 12 to 1. And this is where we will talk about our who got what grant from our grant process, and then we will also talk about our volunteers that we are so appreciative of, and our incoming and outgoing on our board, just those basic things. And then we'll have AIM will have a little bit of a presentation too about their wrapping up 2021. So
it's kind of a fun, informative business.
Yeah. Normally we do an in-person event and there's cocktails and appetizers, but we just want to stay safe, so we're going to do it virtual this year, and then hopefully we can be back in person next year.
Perfect. And so actually, you guys are huge funders in the community as United Way. And so you'd mentioned that those grant awards will be maybe discussed or announced at that meeting.
So on Tuesday,
maybe talk about that process, because I think that's really exciting. If you're not in the grant world, grants are so intimidating sometimes because you really rely on it to fund and run a program that does service in the community. So United Way meets with so many businesses. They get that commitment for financial support, and then they distribute and manage the grant reporting, how that's funded, everything. So maybe tell us a little bit about that and the campaign.
So the campaign, we raised the funds, and now we're in the middle of our grant process. So I have volunteers that will review the grants, watch the videos of the tour and how their program works.
Yeah.
Everything that we grant on is under education and housing. So we want to move the needle. So we want to see those programs working in our community. So that's
And
one of the
really
big reasons why we want to
those
fund them.
key areas. Yeah.
So those volunteers will be working on those grants from now until the beginning of March, and then our board will vote on what the recommendations were within the budget on the Tuesday, the 22nd. So then we will call each agency
Just
and
in
let
time.
them know what they received for granting, and then it will be announced to the public on that Thursday as well.
That's not a very big turnaround. I mean, you have to be quick. You guys are on it.
Well, we divide all the agencies, up in between the office staff and
Right.
make those phone calls. So it's a pretty easy process that way. So you're not making all of them, because I
That's
think there's
good.
like 45 programs. But if you narrow it down, there's probably only about 15 or 16 actual agencies. A lot of the agencies have
because there are multiple programs.
programs underneath. So.
Well, it makes a big impact. So I think it's worth mentioning
Yay.
definitely, and that if you are curious where to put your funding, or if that slip comes in your mailbox at work, or it gets filtered back out into the community and offers good support. So
Well, the great thing is a lot of our companies match it, so that
Yes.
is a great way to spread your dollars. So
yeah. Okay, let's see what else. Volunteer opportunities, covered that. Annual dinner or annual
Right.
celebration.
Yeah.
What else from United Way?
So April will be our baby shower. So
Yes.
we'll have that going on in April. All that will be sent out the beginning of March. We have Dave Kearings also in April. So we have L1M and Muscatine, Dave Kearings in April. So if you're interested in having a project done, our project areas are city, nonprofits, and seniors, or those who are in poverty. So if you need yard cleanup, some gardens cleaned out, flower beds, or a small simple painting project, you can call us and we can get that project in for you. Those will be all students, Dave Kearings. The fall one is adults. So we're working on those. So April will be a busy month, but it'll be fun.
Perfect. Okay, other hats that you wear. Kiwanis.
So I am the president of Kiwanis, and so I wanted to plug that we have our spaghetti dinner next Friday night at Salvation Army. This will be from 4:30 to 7:30. It is a drive-through, so adults are $6 and children are $3. 3 and under are free. So this helps us fund our different agencies that work with kids. So Kiwanis is based on kid programs. So that is one of our big things, and also our sponsorships. So some of the programs that we funded is Big Brothers Big Sisters, MHS scholarship programs, Muscatine Community College Kids First scholarships, science fairs, and we also do a Kiwanis Club Children's Christmas Party every year. So that rotates around different elementary schools to give those kids a little fun project. We're also working on some different projects with disabled children. So we're trying to work with the city on putting a handicap playground in and just those kind of fun things. So that is what Kiwanis does. So we'd be excited if you came to our spaghetti dinner and took some takeout for that night.
Because it's all takeout.
All
Is that right?
takeout.
All takeout this year. No, that's perfect. Then you
Yeah.
can go home, and it's still probably going to be a little cold. So get your spaghetti dinner and go home and put on your slippers.
Yeah, so you'll get spaghetti, garlic bread, and cookies. So that'll be fun.
Perfect. Okay, good enough for the kids. Share with the whole family,
Yes.
right? Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's everything. Thanks for having me on today.
Thank you. Okay, I'm assuming everything is on either the volunteer website or the United Way website.
The United Way
right?
website
In case
and
anyone
Facebook. Yep.
has questions. Okay, so if you missed it right at the beginning, if you comment on this feed the number of donuts that Hy-Vee made today, then you get a free box of 1 dozen donuts. So, I think that's it. Is there anything else, guys? Am I missing anything? That just seems so to the point today. I like it. Okay, well, I think I will see you tomorrow. If not, Ashley will be back, but otherwise you're stuck with me again, so tune in and we'll see you then.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.